thanks for your presentation. I would agree with you that the situation in Zoetermeer from a financial perspective was not too bad, and I do support most of your criteria to assess this. I agree that the revenue situation is not overly consistent, as you have outlined with your comparison between specific and general revenue and the variancy between these for each program. But I would argue that this is a result of the nature of the programs, with some not being suited to direct exchange transactions such as welfare as a merit good, or for things like street lighting being non-exclusionary. This is a key difference with regard to the public sector financial management, where most income comes, or the majority of income comes from general revenue. I agree that the unexpected outcome of the budget suggests poor financial planning overall, with a failure to accurately predict the outcomes even on revision partway through the year. I was a bit puzzled by the statement about measuring indicators for different areas and the lack of outcomes information for some areas, as I was not sure where that information came from in the spreadsheet given, but I might have missed something in the textbook. I do agree that there was some process and planning areas that did require some improvement, particularly with regards to the infrastructure program, as you pointed out, where the figures varied substantially from the initial program budget all the way through from the revised to the eventual actual expenditure. Although I'm not sure what the role of the economic affairs program is, perhaps they are just for predominantly administration, and the costs are predominantly around staffing. The idea of an economic development plan is a good one for longer term investment and sustainability of revenue from a different source. It is business investment, not just taxation or fee for service. I also support the idea of the use of public spaces to generate revenue, as this could also increase public value to these spaces, which is a key goal of public sector managers. The idea of increasing revenue for safety programs is also possible with the suggestions provided. I hadn't actually considered these aspects of community safety in my own assessment. Of course, fines and things. I also saw, looking at your larger volume of costs and social benefits idea, certainly there would be greater scope for areas to reduce costs in this area. But as pointed out, there may be social costs that would need to be explored very carefully with the various stakeholders to avoid outcomes that could be both socially and politically damaging, particularly as one could argue that the budget as it stands is actually managing to support the current costs overall and sustain that program. However, as you have rightly explained, it will be important for politicians to review the budget and the actual costs, income and outcomes in detail in the coming year, rather than assuming things will remain the same year to year, in order to find these areas of saving or increase revenue in the longer term. Thanks again.